going on, guys? Just wanted to do a follow-up. I know I haven't done anything and added to the patrol series of videos in a little while, and I just wanted to give you an update on that. Still continuing that, still got it on and going. As with everything else, I've got a bunch of stuff planned out that I want to do, and it's just a matter of working in the time to get those done, and some of the things I want to do in them. Got to enlist some friends' help, and I got to coordinate with them and their schedules, and you know how all it is, just general life getting in the way. So they're still coming. Still got more to go on those. But I thought I'd give you a little update on that via this one, to say that, but also to just real quick, I don't want to say clarify, because I've already mentioned it and talked about it in a previous one in this series, but I guess just kind of go over it again, because I know not everybody goes back and watches all the old videos and all that stuff. So before I get into that, let me just say the background noise that you're hearing, I apologize if it's kind of loud, but my old air conditioner out here in the workshop died, and had to get a new one because this is the southeast and it just gets ridiculously hot out here, and the new AC unit over there, it blows like a hurricane and does a good job of keeping it cool, but it's just kind of noisy and loud. So sorry about that, you just have to deal with it, because I really don't want to stand here and be like a baked potato in an oven. Just me. So that said, I want to make sure that when you're watching the patrol series videos, and not only those, but I guess you could apply this to everything here, the future scenario videos, pretty much everything. Where I'm coming from it all at, and again, particularly the patrol series, is from the armed, prepared citizen point of view. Okay, think real serious prepper, for lack of a better term. Survivalist is probably a much more accurate term, or a group of survivalists. Whatever direction like that you want to go as far as terms and labels, I guess. And not so much from, say, like a militia point of view. And I know some people argue this, and we'll debate the point, but I think there is a fairly significant difference between the two directions in how you approach things, how you conduct things, but honestly, how you prepare, how you equip yourself, and most importantly, how you train. So, from my perspective and point of view, where I'm coming from, is just in the armed citizen / survivalist point of view. What that entails in is you have to look at your perceived threats, because for one group it's going to be different than another group. What you perceive as your threat will dictate how you train, how you set up your gear, equipment, the whole 9 yards. So for me and my friends, you've got to look at what we consider our likely threats. Okay, our likely threats, the direction I'm coming at it. Again, this is just to keep everything in context and focus, to try to help some of you from going out into the weeds with things, because you will do things differently depending on where you're going from. Our likely concern threats are going to be from some sort of catastrophic situation, be it economic collapse, be it natural disaster of some kind, man-made natural disaster. It could be any of that. For some reason, normal society stops, rule of law ceases, it's anarchy and every man for himself kind of thing. Your threats in those situations are going to be, they'll change over time. At first, it's going to be from, your local gangs, looters, rioters, just your typical dregs of society. The guys right now that the police are already out, hunting down and try to put in jail. It's a metaphor, but I like to use, and so do a couple of friends, I just like to use the term orc because that's what they remind me of. And I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, so sue me. Over time, it will change from individuals to what I think will be larger groups of individuals. The ones that are smart enough to stay alive through the initial phase of something will then most likely start banding together into larger groups. It's just a natural thing. Good people are going to band together and bad people are going to band together. It's human nature. So those are the threats that are higher at the top of my list. Now, guys that are coming at things more from a militia point of view are more concerned with, I believe, or more focused on that. Concerned is probably not the right word. Focused on should probably be more appropriately what I use. They're more focused on threats from organized government forces, be it law enforcement, be it the military, or even a foreign military. I don't discount those. I fully have those on my list of potential threats. The difference for me is those are down at the bottom. Because in my honest opinion, I think we stand a far greater chance of things going south for a number of reasons. And if they do, there won't be a government. There won't be a military. There won't be law enforcement. There won't be any of that to face. Okay? And if you're totally focused on that and not the survival aspect of it, my personal opinion, I think you're selling yourself short. But I do not discount that at all. Again, I just want to clarify where I'm coming from with things. So, focusing on that perceived threat, okay, the gangs, looters, rioters, the orcs of society as individuals or banding together into groups. How you set your gear up, how you train, what your SOPs are, your plans, tactics you plan to use and employ to defend yourself and protect yourself and your friends, family, your preparedness group, whatever, will be dictated by that. The problem comes in when you get wrapped around the axle on either trying to cover every perceived threat you can think of, or more importantly, just totally wrapped up in the lesser of the perceived threats. Now for me, the lesser threat is military, law enforcement, that sort of thing. I didn't say they're not a threat, lesser threat. It's lower on my list. Because let's think about it. Military and law enforcement combined in this country doesn't even come close to what the number of the average population is. I mean, in all seriousness, guys, they just don't have the numbers. Even if things were, grid up, normal, non-crap at the fan situation, they just don't have the physical numbers to take on the American society. You know, other countries, and I know some of you guys are in other countries around the world, you're going to have to, you know, figure that out for yourself in your area. I'm speaking mainly for us here in the States, okay? So that's where my stuff's coming from. And I want to make sure that you keep that into perspective. If I'm, you know, doing security patrols and stuff, I'm not overly worried about my threat having the latest in satellite spy technology that's, you know, watching my every movement from orbit. I'm not worried about infantry battalions with the latest in thermal optics and FLIR and night vision and mechanized vehicles and all that kind of stuff. That's way down at the bottom of my threat list. The goblins and orcs and dregs of society that come pouring out of the cities because they're starving and hungry looking for food, or just to rape, pillage, and plunder because there's no law around to stop them, that's where my focus is. So I'm going to set everything up primarily for that. If the others what I have to deal with, well, you just got to be flexible and transition on the fly, as it were, and deal with it as it comes. So I could go on and on about that forever, but I don't want to turn this into a 3-hour video on you. You'll get fed up long before I do. So, two parting thoughts. There's a lot of good places out there to get info, but I want to share just a couple. Okay. Two of my favorite blogs to go read and get info from, because I think they're more in line with where I'm coming from and what I'm, you know, espousing, is going to be this one right here. Go to Brushbeater, WordPress, and then also switch screens here. My good friend JC Dodge over at Mason-Dixon Tactical. If you haven't checked out those two blogs, make sure you do. Both solid sources of info. And I guess the bottom line is that I'll kind of take it out on, we can use military tactics, military procedures, military training, military oriented gear, and that sort of thing. We can use all that as a basis and a starting point for our security plans and training and equipment. However, I think the trick is to keep in mind we're not military, okay? If we have to go out and do a security patrol, we're probably not even going to have a squad-sized element number-wise, much less the equipment and technology and everything that goes with it. That's not us. Even the best prepared guys, we don't have it. We're not going to have it. So you have to take those things and then pick and choose. Pull the little relevant things out, put it together and make it your own. And ignore the people that try to come along and give you the by the book, you know, numbers of why you're doing it wrong, because you're not going right by the Ranger manual or right by the infantry manual or, you know, whatever. It's because it's not what you're doing. Pick and choose, pull your little things, put together what you need to put together that's right for you. There may be stuff that I say and do and show that doesn't quite fit for you, your area, whoever you've got in your group, friends, family, you know, whatever. So make it your own. Don't feel like you've got to adopt by the book military tactics, procedures, equipment list, loadouts, you know, the whole 9 yards. Make it yours. Make it work what works for you. So more patrol stuff coming. I'm going to try to keep adding to it as I can. Like I said, I just got to get things coordinated with some folks and honestly find the time. So I'll stop rambling now. Hope that puts things kind of in clarity for you and focus, so you know where I'm coming from on this. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, keep preparing, and we'll talk to you again soon, guys.